How's it going, guys? Today was one of those days where you gotta stay patient. There was a lot of different setups that you probably thought were looking good at the time, but they ended up not being good setups. There's a lot of fake outs, a lot of weird movement, a lot of just chop. I only made three trades today, trading SPY. I went two for three, ended up small green, but that's okay. Um, didn't take any losses, I should say that. The one trade that I took, it was a break even trade, and I'll show you guys exactly how I traded it to get break even on it. I actually video recorded it, but it took so long, and TradingView only lets you record for 20 minutes, so I only have 20 minutes of me pretty much sitting there looking at it. So, anyways, starting off the day, I don't trade the first 15 minutes. We had that first initial breakdown. Um, Still, a lot of this just kind of looked like chop to me. There wasn't really anything. We had a little bit of we had a lower low, and once we had that lower low, I decided to go long on this trend line break, kind of play it as a descending wedge. It was a rough one, but so this candle closed above this trend line that I had drawn, and I got in on this candle. Waited for a retest. You can see a little bit on this wick, so I got in around 395. We had this big resistance level right here from 395.5 to 396. This was a big supply zone that we were looking at. So I was pretty much looking to scale half my contracts at like 5% because I understood the fact that we were chopping around like crazy. This week is a big week for a lot of economic events and a lot of earnings. So wasn't really expecting a big move, and I ended up selling half on this wick. It was one of these wicks right here. Sold half once we got to that 395.6 resistance because you see how we were testing that resistance so many times and we were failing. So I understood that, sold half, and then once we started knifing, I pretty much just cut it. You can see this common pattern that we've been having lately, and I actually used it for my advantage on the second trade. So we're gonna go ahead and clear this chart real quick. Second trade that I took, same pattern as that first trade. You can see how we have this little bit of a candle north before the big knife south. And this has been something I'm noticing on SPY recently. The past couple weeks, it's been happening a lot. So I was able to use this to my advantage. We broke above this level at 396 key level, broke above, and that's when I entered puts. I was looking for, this is pretty much the exact same setup they had at 8 o'clock. And whenever I see something like that, and I'm like, okay, we just had this exact same setup, I like to, try it out for a second time. So I played this as a rally based drop. Um, got in puts at around, I want to say 395.9 area. And then I scaled once, so we have this low, higher low. I was expecting another higher low. So I scaled at this trend line, got out for good, I think like 17% or something like that. So once again, we have another breakout that was quickly brought down. This was easily avoidable, and the reason why I took this is because we had a high, then we had a higher high. What are we going to have? Another higher high. I'm not looking for a big break north. I'm just looking for another higher high. We hit off this trend line. We formed this kind of mini wedge right here. So we have this mini wedge. I entered at the top of this wedge at like 396, I want to say, and pretty much rode these all the way down to low of day. And I think I sold once we were in the zone. You could have made a good play. I was eyeing this. You could see this old resistance, this old support turned resistance, and you had a couple rejections off there, a knife down to low of day. That could have been the fourth play, but I decided not to take it, and I pretty much called it a day early after this big play that I took. So, overview, three plays that I took. Took an L on the first play off trying to play calls on a resistance break. Second play that I took was off of a pretty much fake out trend line resistance back down to trend line support. And then third play, pretty much same thing. I played it as a trend line resistance play, breakdown of a wedge, and down to the lower day demand zone. So overall, choppy day. There was plenty of opportunity though. Just playing with support and resistance. There wasn't a lot of follow through, so it was a lot of quick moves. Hope you guys had a great day and learned something from this video. Let me know in the comments, is there anything you guys want me to specifically go over? And feel free to insert anything below that you think I need to talk about more often. Thank you.